everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on my top recommendations for coffee perfumes. Someone has joined us for the video and is making lots of noise with his toy, so I'm sorry if you hear a little bell in the background, but Mr. Caesar is being very loud and attention seeking, aren't you, love? So basically I'm going to give you a rundown of which I think are the best coffee perfumes out there. If you are new here, then hello and welcome. I'm all about perfumes. I have hundreds of videos like this, not just on perfume notes, but new releases, whole ranges, perfumers. So do check out my other content. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And as always, the links will be down below in the description box where you can get all the fragrances I talk about in this video, where they're available all around the world. So probably one of the most famous, well-known perfumes that has a really noticeable coffee note in is YSL's Black Opium. This is a really kind of sexy evening date night perfume, and with the coffee you've got an orange blossom, you've got vanilla, so it's kind of like a vanilla latte type scent that's in here. It's really strong, really projects. I would say this is definitely good for the evening. It might be a bit strong for like the office or things like that. And with it being YSL, it is relatively pricey, and I have collaborated in this video with Dossier Fragrances. If you haven't heard of Dossier Fragrances, they are a fragrance house that create perfumes inspired by famous designer fragrances, but at much more affordable prices. So they have a scent called Ambery Vanilla, which is a really good alternative to Black Opium. This is how they come, this is what the box looks like, and you get the 50ml fragrance and it's only £29. So the YSL 50ml is going to be like 70 something pounds. So it's sort of less than half price. Dossier are now available in the UK, which is super exciting. They're also available in the US and Europe. And the link will be down below if you want to check them out. And I do have a discount code for you. You can use code SOKI10 to get 10% off your order as well. They're cruelty free, they're made in France using quality ingredients. And I think it's a great way to save money on your favorite designer scents, but just in a more affordable bottle, basically. So thanks Dossier for sharing your creations with me and collaborating with me on this video. So even though Black Opium does have that coffee note in, it's not like super coffee. One that I came across recently, a fragrance I came across recently, is from Valentino, and this is in their more exclusive collection. It's not widely available. It tends to be places like Harrods or Selfridges, like top designer stores, and they have one called Private Talk. Now to me, this really does smell like coffee. So at first when you spray it, you get a tuberose. So at first I thought, oh, this is really going to be floral. However, after about 10 seconds, this coffee note appears out of nowhere, and it's a really creamy, cappuccino type coffee. But it generally smells like I've just walked into a coffee shop, and there's not many perfumes where coffee really becomes the main note. It's really quite strong as well, but they are expensive. We're talking well over £100 for these. But if you're looking to really just smell like coffee, like you live in a coffee shop, this is probably one of the best examples I've seen of like a pure coffee perfume. And it's so interesting how it changes from tuberose to coffee in those first 10 seconds. It's like almost magic. It completely changes. Very unisex. I'd say in general coffee is a very unisex fragrance note, but definitely worth a try if you're looking for like a pure coffee scent. Another quite famous coffee fragrance is Tom Ford's Cafe Rose. Now, as the name suggests, this obviously does have rose in it. So when you spray it, you get quite a fresh, delicate rose. It's not too heavy, and then as it develops, a little bit of spiciness starts coming in. I can also get some cardamom, which is what's giving it that spice, and then there is a hint of a coffee note in here, but I would say that the name is a little bit misleading because it's primarily a spicy rose perfume. The coffee is more of like an afterthought. Whereas I find this with quite a lot with the Tom Ford fragrances is the name and sometimes the marketing as well makes you think it's all about a particular ingredient, then when you smell it, it's a totally different ingredient that's the star of the show. I wanted to include it because people talk about it as being a coffee perfume, but personally, I'd say this is more a rose perfume. Another one that's kind of similar is from Kyali, in the Oudgasm range. She has one called Cafe Oud. So there was a collection of 5 different like oud fragrances that had different twists to them, and one of them was called Cafe Oud, and this one again has a hint of a creamy milky coffee note in it, but the main note is certainly oud. Like this is an oud fragrance, you know, 80%, and then the cafe bit is kind of a bit of an afterthought. So again, it's, if you want to smell like coffee, this is not the one for you. This is an oudy coffee, if that makes sense. The Oudgasm range are really affordably priced for oud perfumes, which can usually be sort of £200 plus, and I do have a video on that whole range which I'll leave linked. But again, kind of like the Tom Ford one, it says cafe in it, makes you think it's going to be really coffee, but it's only a sort of nod, a hint of coffee in there. Another good coffee fragrance is from Replica, from Maison Margiela. I have the Discovery set here. The idea behind Replica is that they replicate the scent of a real life smell. So they have like the smell of the park, they have the smell of a jazz club, and they have one called Coffee Break. Now this one is quite masculine. You definitely get the coffee in this, but it does have some lavender in, some spicy notes, which are like leaning towards a more masculine vibe. Lavender tends to be used a lot in male perfumes, but again, it's got that milky coffee, walking into a coffee shop vibe to it. Not as much as the Valentino one, but it's definitely up there as one of the best, and it is a bit more affordable than the Valentino one as well. For a sort of sweet coffee fragrance, Dolce & Gabbana's The Only One is a good option. This one mixes caramel with coffee, so it's kind of like a caramel frappuccino or something. Because this has been out for a long time, you can often find it at really good price point as well. I'll try and find it at good prices and leave it in the links down below. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets discontinued though. All these sort of The Only Ones and The Only One 2, they all seem to be disappearing. But if you do like your more caramel fragrances, this is a good one because it's like a coffee caramel latte or whatever they call it at Starbucks. So quite a common combination for coffee fragrance notes is to be mixed with cardamom, which I find to make them quite masculine. So from Acro, there's a fragrance called Awake. That is a mixture of coffee and cardamom. Also from Lush, they have one called Cardamom Coffee. Again, these are both like really cardamom-y, which is quite sharp and spicy. And then they have the coffee mixed with them, which kind of tones down the spiciness a bit, but you have to like cardamom for both of these. Sabrina Carpenter, of course, had her big famous hit called Mi Espresso and released a perfume called Mi Espresso as well. I reviewed it recently. It does not smell anything like coffee to me. It kind of smells like kind of woody, gone off green notes. I really didn't like it. I really didn't think it was a nice smell. It didn't smell like coffee, and I don't recommend it. I know that Kilian has one called Intoxicated, which is a really strong, spicy coffee. So if you like your sort of pumpkin spice lattes, it's more in that direction. It's got cinnamon in, a little bit Christmassy. Again, it has coffee and cardamom with the coffee note. There's a tobacco in, so quite strong, quite warm. And for me, anything with cinnamon in always smells Christmassy to me. And then lastly, one that you might not think of is from Britney Spears. So she released a perfume called Prerogative. I don't think this is still made, but you can still get it online. I'll leave the links. And this is a really affordable coffee fragrance. It mixes the coffee note with a warm, fruity apricot. So it's quite light, fruity, fun, but you can get that warm coffee note underneath. And it's definitely the most affordable out of all these. So if you like the fruitiness in a fragrance and you're looking for coffee, this could be a good option. Also, if you like things that are more like Black Opium, then this is probably more for you. It doesn't have those more masculine cardamom notes in it like so many of the others do. Cool, so that is my list of coffee fragrance note recommendations. Let me know what else you'd add to this list and let me know what your favorites are. I'll leave the links down below to where they're all available all around the world. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.